Oh, say word. My boy done made it to the camps. Let me give you the rundown. Homeboy, it's only one rule out here in the camps. There are no rules. We do what we want in this motherfucker. What up, what up, what up? We are back. Who am I? Jersey Street Corner, and this is the Prison Talk Show, people. So let's get into it. Alright, today, I'm gonna tell y'all a crazy story about a place I like to refer to as Sin City. Yeah, y'all. We are talking about the camps. Now, what is a camp, Corner? Alright, don't worry, don't even trip. I'm gonna break it all down. So, the camps were a part of the facility. That's when you get all your time down to like 2 or 3 years and you had no incidents in the past few months, or at least you ain't get caught. These pods are what most prisoners consider a better living. But most will never get to see the camps. And they resent anyone that will. Now in the camps, not only are you in a pod with about 10 guys, your pod is only one of, say, 40. Yeah, I said pod, y'all. Do you know what that is? A pod, that means it's a shared dorm. 10-man pods. 40 pods in the building. No bars. Yeah, y'all. You got 400 inmates living together like a little city. And when I say city, well, you might as well call it Gotham City. And these must be all the bad guys Batman caught that escaped Arkham. We have access to the kitchen and the fridge loaded with food. We was making cinnamon pancakes 1 o'clock in the morning. Why so late? I'll tell you why. So, it's not like, we didn't have any type of supervision. It was no cameras. It was one officer that's supposed to watch both sides of the building. So, he split his shift up between the sides. He was cool anyway. As long as we wasn't fighting or, acting crazy, he was cool with it. As long as he ain't had to call no codes. We had everything we wanted in the camps. I wish I could shout my boy out that held me down with the tree and the cell phone, but I'm not on that snitch shit. That's that shit we don't like. Anyway, the CO in the camps was chill. He just messed with his phone and bullshit with a few inmates. He ain't want to worried about nothing. Working the camps is a good gig for newbies. Most inmates, if they make it to the camps, they ain't trying to mess that up. That's the closest some of them ever got to going home. Don't get me wrong. You could be in the camps for 2, even 3 years, which is rare because you gotta be real good to have that much good time. Or you got a crazy football number and you done been there forever already. You literally free all day. No asking for permission to move. You got a different name badge than everybody else in the building. You go to the yard whenever you want. Fewer counts. You can even work outside detail if you want, where you get on a bus and go out in the world. You got to go see people. And as long as you did your job, you could count on that little freedom every day. You could smoke all the tree you want. Find whatever else you was looking for. We even had Seagram's gin and juice in the camps, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all prison ain't a real place, but y'all don't hear me though. Now, by the time I made it to the camps, I only had about 2 years left. And I was hoping, honestly, that I wouldn't have to be in the camps that long, that I'd get parole, because I had already stayed way longer than I should have from different incidents and whatnot, getting hits on parole. So I was hoping this time, being in the camps and obviously being good, I would get a crack at parole. So what happens is you go to the camps. Now, If you short time, like in a matter of months, you don't have to get a job. You could just stay there and ride it out, just chill. But if you're in the camp, you got to work at some job. Now, thank God I got out the building because I was doing metal shop in the building. That's 2 shifts a day. That shit is brutal. You really work. Like grinding lockers. Yeah, they let your boy use power tools in prison, I know, right? So, when I went out to the camps, they had a sand position open where, pretty much you just sweep and mop the floors. And it was easy. So I'm like, hell yeah, I'll take that. That's movement right there. That means I get to come out all the time, and do whatever, I got a reason to be on both sides of the building, all that. And it was real lax out there in the camps anyway. It's not like I was going to get in trouble, if I came out the pod anyway. We didn't have bars anyway. But at a certain point in time, you're not supposed to be, certain places. Anyway, the camps is real sweet, y'all. So when you go for your visit, you still got to get the strip search and all of that. That's whatever. You used to that after, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You're used to that already. But the fact that when you walk out of that strip search into the visit hall, you literally see your peoples opening the door. You see their car. You can see the parking space where they park at. It's literally a glass door that you could just push open and walk right out of there and get in that car if you was bold enough. And you might even be able to get it off. A lot of times that door ain't even being guarded. That's how much they trust prisoners over in the camps, because they know they be real dumb to do something like that. To catch an escape charge or any infraction when you on your way out the door, yeah, that's about the dumbest thing I ever heard. But some people do it, y'all. Some people do it. So when you go off a visit, the visit is so much more relaxed than in the building. The building is loud and it's mad people in there. And you got the glass, with the phones and whatever. There's no contact in the building. Out here, you can reach out and hug your mama. You could, give your girlfriend a kiss. Hug your kids. It's so much, the food is so much better. The vending machines got good food. And you could just chill. You could take pictures, all that. So they make you work to get in the camps, though, y'all. And when I say work, I went to many, many programs, even programs that I didn't need. The more programming you do shows them that you want to do more than just hang out on that tier all day in the pod and beat down with the homies and smoke and drink. And they know what's going on in there. They know exactly what's going on in there, but they expect you to rise above it. They expect you to tell your homies, hey, listen, I get back with y'all tonight. I'm going to go to this school. I'm going to go to this meeting. I'm going to go here. So even if you're not an alcoholic, take that AAA meeting. Go to the NA meeting. Go to the basic skills meeting. You know what I mean? You got to show these people that you try and change your life, even if you're not. Y'all don't hear me, though. So if your main goal is just to get back on those streets, to do as much dirt as you could think of, then so be it. But until then, you got to make these people think that you have been rehabilitated. Rehabilitated. Don't mind me, y'all. Now, in my case, I'm going to say I was rehabilitated from what I initially went in there for. But just like everybody else, you go in knowing one thing, you come out knowing something else. I might have came home an even bigger monster than when I went in, because I learned the new skill. And I took that new skill to the fullest and did what I did and caught another bid. But this time I had a little bit more money to fight that case. And we'll talk about that one in another story. They made me pull the dust off of that one too, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway, y'all, when I was in the camps, it was just like a country club compared to the inside of the big building I was in. Fights every day and somebody getting stabbed and just craziness happening. Out here, you around a bunch of cats that's close to going home. So the vibes is different. There's a lot of gangs out there, all of that. But still in all, everybody got the bigger picture in mind. So unless it's a real beef or a real big problem, or you blatantly go out of your way to disrespect somebody, everybody just trying to get home. As soon as I got out to the camp, a big homie approached me, trying to come home. Nah, I'm good. You know the vibes. Alright. Dude had on the red Timbs. I'm like, damn, y'all doing it like this out here? So my bunk was in the back. I was with some 5% dudes. And they was cool. They was old heads. Old heads was cool as hell. One dude had like 20 years that was over there. And he was in the camps. But that's how good he's been. He trying to get home. OG trying to get home. They don't want no smoke. Matter of fact, when I came in there, they was like, yo, asked me, they ran the paperwork and all of that. I'm not gonna lie about that. They ran the paperwork. I was like, all right. It's like, yo, so what you doing? What you working? What your job is? And I told him, I was like, I do the tier sand. I mop and sweep up and all that shit. He's like, all right, bet. Yo, if you want, they let me hold down a TV. Now we had these, I guess you could say it's maybe 20-inch. Yeah, 20-inch screen TV, but it was a whole TV, like big ass TV. He let me hold it down the whole time I was there in that prison, in the camps. And he was like, yeah, just give it to me when you leave or whatever. That's how long he been there. He didn't even care. And it was like a little, like, I don't know how to call it. The bunks was close. It was like 2 bunks close. So you have 4 people in kind of like a same vicinity or whatever. You kind of like having a party. Like you got your hookup. You got a table in the middle with a hookup. And y'all just chilling. Got the big screen TV on. Or somebody got a boom box going. Yeah, I said boom box, y'all. Now, I know this might be very controversial, but I actually had so much fun in the camps, I forgot I was in prison. It almost felt like juvie, like juvenile. And, when you start forgetting where you're at and get too comfortable, that's one of the worst mistakes you can make in your life. So what do people say? All good things come to an end. Well, I was only in these camps for about 3 months. And I guess they thought they was doing me a favor. The administration, I mean. Now, this prison was pretty far from home for me. So when you get close to, when you get close to going home, they put you in a prison close to home so you can be released and somebody could pick you up, that's close to home. But I'm like, I'm not close to going home yet. I'm pretty comfortable here. I'm not telling them this, of course. I can't say nothing. When they tell you to pack it up, just pack it up. And it's crazy. They just come in there. It don't matter. It could be 1 o'clock in the morning. They'll tell you to pack it up. You're moving. Because they like to move inmates around at night. Less chance to escape and less rowdier when they're bringing them into the prison. Now, that's what inmates hate, being transferred to new prisons. Because now you have to adjust, see if you know anybody again, go through the whole motions you did at the last prison, unless you got a way for people to contact people at the last prison and vouch for you and this and that and different politics. It's a pain in the ass. So I'm like, damn, but I'm not getting out no time soon. I got to do at least a year in the camps before I even get out. I only been here 3 months and y'all moving me already, man. So I'm like, all right. Now, mind you, when they finally tell me where they're sending me to, I'm like, huh? This joint they sending me to is a worse prison than the one that I'm at. With even worse people there. And even worse than that, this prison is 23-1. Lockdown. All day. You only come out to go to programs or church or shower. And even worse than that, before I can go into the camps in that facility, I have to be in the inside in the building 23-1 for almost a month. Maybe more. Now, when I finally get there and find that out, and I got a celly, I got this old dude in there with me, old white dude in there with me. He was cool. He just sat there and drank coffee all day, all night. He ain't hardly talk. He was alright. But it's like, dang, man, this shit boring as hell. I'm just sitting in a cell all day long. No TV. All I got is my little Walkman. And I gotta sit here for y'all to figure out everything that the other prison could just tell y'all that I got full minimum and I should be out in the camps. Nah, they went through their process, checked me out. So now I gotta survive for 4 weeks in this prison without getting into an altercation that could possibly ruin my good time. Now that's where the bullshit comes, y'all. Because it's not really fair to inmates that you have to lie and protect your charges and all of that stuff because of what other people might think. Now, people that got a lot of time to do, if they find out that you on your way out to those camps, that means you close to going home, they might just punch you in your face just for the heck of it, just to get you a charge. Because you might get locked up if they see you with a bruise. Now, people will try and keep you back in the prison with them. You know what they say, crabs, they'll keep pulling you back. Crabs in the barrel. That's why they can't get out. They will pull you down with them just so you do not leave that prison. And they'll laugh about it. And they don't care. So you can't tell nobody when you short time or when you out there going to the camps. You can't tell your people that you so-called friends, your homies. You go for your classification, you find out what it is, they let you know, keep it to yourself. Any paperwork, throw that in the garbage. The prison know exactly what they need to know, and when the time comes, they're going to call and tell you to pack it up. Anybody ask you any questions, you getting transferred, or you could tell them right then, I'm going outside, because they can't do nothing about it then at that point when the CO walking you out. But do not divulge information that you don't have to. So, I guess long story short, just when I got comfortable, they snatched me out my comfort zone, threw me back in the jungle, and yeah, y'all, it took just about a week more than a month. About 5 weeks, I had to be inside in that 23-1 before I got into their camps. And I gotta say, I liked the last camp better. This camp was cool, but it was a lot of older guys there. It wasn't that many people that I could, really relate to in there. So I just kind of, vibed out with my bunkies and just did my time. And that was that. Alright, y'all, look, that's going to be the end of that story. I hope you liked it. I hope you got a better understanding of what a camp is in a prison because most prisons have camps. And this is the Jersey Street Corner Prison Talk Show. I am your boy, Jersey Street Corner, and I'm out.